So, it's the end of yet another week, and here on this channel that means one thing and one thing only. Every weekend I post an episode of this series we do called Your Take Not Mine, where I turn to you the viewers to give me your hottest NBA takes of the week based on what's going on at the time, and I then choose my favorite submissions and discuss them in a video. This week was a pretty busy week in the NBA world, as we saw the final preseason games played, we saw a few contract extensions signed, teams made their final roster cuts, and tons of interesting developments have come about for us to monitor, so we definitely still have plenty to discuss. In order to submit your takes, I make a community post on either the day of or the day before the video, similar to the one that you see on your screen now, so if you want a chance to be featured in a future episode, be sure to stay on the lookout for that. Before we start though, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, PrizePicks. With the new NBA season about to commence, PrizePicks is the best and easiest way to play daily fantasy to stay engaged on all of the excitement. All you have to do is pick between 2 and 5 players and the over-unders on their projections, and you can win up to 10 times your original entry. Choose between points, rebounds, assists, three-pointers made, fantasy points, and more. Plus, you can even make mixed sports entries, so if you also happen to be a fan of football, baseball, soccer, or anything else in the sporting world, PrizePicks has you covered. Plus, PrizePicks are giving you what is essentially a free space for opening night by setting Steph Curry's points over-under at 0.5, so make sure to sign up as soon as possible to take advantage of an unbeatable offer like that, because I personally will be doing so, along with Tyrese Maxey to score over 17.5 points and James Harden to dish out over 8 assists. By going down to the link in the description of this video and using promo code REFERENCE when you sign up, you also get a deposit match bonus of up to $100. Once again, thank you to PrizePicks for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the topic at hand. The first take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Danny, and he says that the Lakers have a team that could legitimately contend for a title, but Russell Westbrook is what's holding them back from doing so. This right here is what we call scapegoating, but the thing is that this is actually a pretty widely accepted take that a lot of people try to push. The Lakers are the biggest brand in the NBA, and they also happen to have LeBron James, who is the biggest individual brand, so obviously every single aspect of this team gets dissected with more scrutiny than the average team. People want to see LeBron James do well because his fan base is massive, and with the amount of times in his career that he has been able to single-handedly carry a team to the finals, the fact that the team last year was so bad was inexcusable, and with Westbrook having a pretty poor season for his own standards on top of that, it became easy for them to shift a lot of the blame onto him. Now, was Russ completely at fault for last season? No, of course not. He definitely did not contribute solely to their miserable season. But was he holding them back? Also, no. There was a lot of blame to go around, and while Russ definitely does deserve his fair share of it, it goes way deeper than just him. This offseason, the Lakers revamped their rotation, bringing in players like Patrick Beverley and Dennis Schroeder, but when you look at the way that they're set up, I truly don't think this year's roster is much better than last season's team, if at all. They can still make the playoffs, obviously, even with Russell Westbrook, and they don't necessarily get better by buying out Russell Westbrook's contract, replacing him with nothing but dead cap, but their success will rely entirely on the health of LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Davis missed a lot of time last year, and even LeBron missed an unusual amount of time compared to the rest of his career, but even still, I don't see the Lakers making a deep run as currently constructed. I expect the Russell Westbrook trade rumors to continue on until the trade deadline, but if the Lakers were able to get a worthwhile return for him, they probably would have by now. The next take we'll be discussing today comes to us from David, and he says that the Knicks might as well tank this season to get into the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. When the whole basketball world got to watch Wembanyama play basketball live on ESPN a few weeks ago, many jaws were dropped after the performances that he put on. To put it simply, Wembanyama is unlike any prospect we have ever seen before, as a player who stands at 7'4", and insane length and agility for a player that size, plus the fact that he runs the floor as well as he does, handles the ball like a wing player, and shoots it reliably from the perimeter, and it has NBA scouts and general managers drooling over the potential to land him in the draft. This season very well may have several teams attempting to tank extra hard because of this, but bringing it back to the original take, will the Knicks be one of those teams? I highly doubt it. Based on everything that the Knicks did this summer, the trajectory they're trying to get themselves on, and the makeup of the team at the moment, every indication is that they believe they can compete for a playoff spot, and the fact that they were in the playoffs just 2 seasons ago makes this goal something they want to return to. Jalen Brunson was brought in to address their hole at point guard, RJ Barrett's development has seen him get better every year, and Coach Tom Thibodeau is not a guy who runs things with any plans other than trying to win games, even at the expense of developing younger talent. Whether or not the Knicks will actually succeed in making the playoffs is an entirely different story, because the Eastern Conference has a lot of competition right now, but despite that, I see no way that the Knicks end up throwing this season away just to try to land Wembanyama. And finally, the last take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Young, and he says that with Jordan Poole being given a contract extension this weekend by the Warriors, it guarantees the fact that Draymond Green won't be with the team much longer. So yesterday, Poole and Andrew Wiggins as well were both given pretty hefty contract extensions seemingly out of nowhere, while contract negotiations were expected to be something that plays out over the course of the season. The team instead decided to get it all done once and for all. Both Poole and Wiggins were going to be free agents after this season, and on top of that, Draymond Green only has a player option left on his contract after this year that some expected him to opt out of in order to seek a bigger contract. But the Warriors only have so much money to spend, and the assumptions by most were that they would be able to afford to keep 2 of those 3 guys. Draymond Green has been an absolutely vital cog to their dynasty over the years, and honestly, he was probably going to be one of the ones that definitely got a contract extension, up until about a week ago at least, when he punched Jordan Poole in the face during practice, changing the way that his peers view him now. Now, back to the present, that question is answered for us. The Warriors chose Wiggins and Poole over Draymond. Now, this doesn't mean that Draymond's time in Golden State is officially over after this year by any means, but Draymond was talking about wanting to sign another max contract, and if he wants to stay on the Warriors, then he will need to accept a pay cut. The Warriors are planning their next phase of contention, and if Draymond actually intends on being a part of it, then he needs to get right mentally, along with accepting that he is no longer a max player. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about the takes we discussed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.